analytics industry from 14 plus years now, and I'm taking these trainings Excel, Power BI from very long. So the course we are going to cover is at par with the industry. So you would be able to learn all the new things, right? We just keep updating the content. So you will definitely get benefit from this course, right? So today we will start with Power Query. So today and tomorrow it would be Power Query. Then next weekend we'll start with Power BI, and then we'll move to DEX. So this is the flow of the course. Fine, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm sharing my screen. I hope everyone
Yeah,
is
that's
aware that we have Power Query in Excel and in Power BI both. Okay, aware? Everyone aware about this fact?
No, I know it is in Power BI, but I don't know about
Okay,
Excel.
so we have the same Power Query in Excel and in Power BI both. First, it was launched in Power BI in 2015, but it was very successful. So it was replicated in Excel in 2016 as well. Okay, so I would be showing you some things in both, in Excel and in Power BI both, so you can use the learnings in both the tools. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen now,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So what is Power
yes, we
Query?
can. I have a question.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes,
I just
go
wanted to
ahead.
understand the usage of the Power Query in Excel and the Power BI is the same or it's different somehow?
It's same. So basically, what is Power Query? Give me some time, I will answer all your questions.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so what is Power Query, guys? What is your understanding? What do you understand out of it? So
It
Power
used
Query
for
is
Power BI
nothing but,
desktop
yes, it's an
to get the
ETL.
data.
ETL. You must have heard this term a lot in the market these days. ETL, extract, transform, and load. Okay, so this is the full form. All the analytical softwares we are getting in the market now all includes ETL. ETL is very important because when ETL was not there in the market, what happened? I will discuss that as well. So what is ETL first of all? So whenever we have any kind of data set, what is the first step we do? We clean the data, right? We always
Yeah.
remove the errors, remove the duplicates, check the spellings, check the duplicacy and everything. So we clean the data. That is always the first step, right? And then we transform the data. What is transformation? What is the understanding? Like, for example, you got the data from some client where we have two columns, first name, last name. But the final data you want for analysis, there you want single column for the entire name, including first and second name. So now you would be merging two columns and creating one column, right?
Mm.
Yes, that is called data transformation. This is a very small example. I will talk about the bigger level of transformation as well. So Lakshman, there is a lot of noise behind you.
Sorry,
Thanks.
I'm muted.
Yes, so we would be talking about transformation at a bigger level. So extract, transformation, and load means extract as in import data from multiple sources. There is a source list which I would be showing to you. Then transform the data. By transform, I mean that whatever final data you want, change your base data into that final data, right? And then load. Then you are loading the final data which you have actually updated using Power Query. So this is the kind of flow. Now how to work on this flow, right? How it helps. So now tell me guys, if we have this particular data set with us, right? This is a data set for a store, right? Superstore, which is in US, single country. But in US, it is available in 48 states. So basically how many stores we have? 48 stores, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we have everything related to the orders here as data. Like if we look at the information, we have order ID, order date, ship mode, right? So what I have done, I have colored the same category information in one color and so on. Then we have customer related information, customer ID, name, segment, country, state, city, pin code, etc. Then we have product level information at 4 levels. Then we have numerical information where we have sales, discount, and profit, right? So now when we talk about data analysis, data warehousing understanding is very important. If your client is giving you this particular table and asking you to analyze this data, will you take this single table in the tool and start analyzing the data? No. You need to understand the engine of the tool as well. What if this, you are taking this entire sheet with you in Excel and start working on it? Now, this is the data as of now for 3 years, right? Can you see we have 3 years data? 2014 to 17, 4 years, right? What if we keep adding the data for 2018, 19, 21, 20, then so on? What will happen? This file is going to become very, very heavy with time. So probably it will not, create problems now, but with time it will start creating problem because of the load it is taking, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So depending upon that understanding that how much load your tool, be it Excel, be it Power BI, be it Tableau, how much load that particular tool's engine can handle, we actually need to transform our data, right? So
Right.
basically we need to have the understanding of the engine of the tool as well, that how much load it can take. So we need to use the memory of that tool very, very efficiently. Like now I'm giving you one example, like how many segments I have here, 3 segments, right? Consumer, corporate, and home office. So if I am creating another table here with the name segment and ranking, for example, here I'm writing the name of all the 3 segment like this, and I'm assigning them a number, right? And now, instead of writing the full names here, can I write 1 for consumer, 2 for corporate, and 3 for home office in this particular column? And I can connect this table with this table. So whenever I want to see what is the meaning of 1, this table will fetch the word consumer from this table. Can I do this?
Yes.
What is the benefit? The benefit is it is saving a lot of memory for me. I am saving the full name only for 3 values here. And here, instead of the entire word consumer, I'm just saving 1, right? And how many rows I have here? Can you see? Around 10,000. So now can you
Yeah.
calculate how much memory I saved by putting the data this way instead of taking this original one single table into the analysis tool, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is saving a lot of memory. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Right?
Yeah.
So to understand the data, to understand the engine is very, very important. And we always need to keep this factor in mind as probably we have this 4 years data as of now, but after 10 years, we would be having 14 years of data. How will we handle? So from the very, very starting, you
A
need to
small,
plan your database that ways.
a small question. If it is in
Yeah.
date format, why it is not appearing in sorted format? Hi,
If
Praveen
it's
here.
in,
Sorry.
if it's in,
In column B, if you click on this filter button, why
yeah,
it is not appearing like 14, 15, 16, 17? It is appearing like 17, 16,
because
15,
we have
14.
not sorted it that ways. Now I have sorted, so it will look like this. Okay, here. See, this is the sorting point.
No, after sorting also, it is not appearing in the correct format, right? It's
Which
not
you
chronological
talking
order.
about this particular filter?
Yes.
Okay, so probably there would be some settings. We can
Okay.
always check the settings that is related to settings, nothing else, nothing related to the database as such.
Okay.
Okay, now guys, the question is, what is the best way of dividing this one big table into multiple tables? This is the question, right? Now you guys agreed why we are not going to take this full table, this big table into the tool. We are going to break it so that we can utilize the engine well, right? So now what is the way of dividing this one big table into multiple tables? So that totally depends upon which tool you are using. So now I would be telling you the way of dividing this one big table into multiple table on the basis of Power BI engine. Okay. So now, okay. So guys, what is a schema? Now the new concept comes into the picture, schema. A schema is the organization or the structure of database. Like what is the correct structure of the database, right? It represents the logical view of the whole database. And we have multiple kinds of schemas, but in this course, we are just concerned with star schema and snowflake schema. These are 2 schemas you need to learn, right? And in Power BI, we always follow star schema. So I will tell you what is a star schema. This star schema is going to tell you how to divide or how to bifurcate one big table into multiple tables. Okay. So what is a star schema? So before we go to star schema, let me tell you that, can you tell me what is the primary key in this database and what is a primary key? So a primary key is nothing but a value which is uniquely identifying a record, right? Now, for example, I went to the superstore, right? 4 times in a year. So how many invoices I have? 4. All would be having same customer name, same customer ID, my ID. So what is that different number which is going to uniquely identify each and every invoice? Order ID,
Order ID.
right? So order ID is my primary key. So primary key is nothing but a value which is uniquely identifying a record. So in this case, order ID is my primary key, right?
Okay.
Right? Now, guys,
Hi.
I
Sorry,
need
but
to
there is
tell
a
you,
repetition. There
there
is
is
a
a,
repetition. Yeah, in order
I,
ID also.
yes, why there is a repetition? Anyone else who can answer this question? Otherwise, I was coming to this point, but yes, if you are asking it a little earlier, I can answer that question as well. So in case in
Maybe we
one
have
order, yes, in case,
multiple orders.
let me clear. Give me a minute, guys. In case in one order ID, I am placing order for 2 products, right? Then this order ID is going to appear here 3 times if I have ordered 3 products under this order ID, because this one row is representing the details of one product. Understood?
Yeah.
So this is the reason there is a duplication. It means that this particular order ID had 3 products. Understood?
Yeah.
Now you can see we have the same order date, same ship date, mode, customer, everything is same. The only difference is in the details of the product and the sales value they have ordered,
But this is
right?
not unique for one line, right? For one row, it is not unique.
Yes, for one row, it is not unique, but in this entire data set, if we talk about the primary key, then order ID is the primary key where we can locate a particular order, not a product.
Okay.
Understood? Yes. Okay. So now the question is, there is some another concept called foreign key. What is that? Foreign key comes into the picture when we are dividing one big table into multiple tables. Then the next thing is that we need to connect those tables so that we can access data from one table to another table, right?
Right.
Right? So assume this column is not here. You can leave this column as of now and just think that we have 4 columns here and 2 columns here. So for what all information we have here, we have persons table where we have maintained their ID, their first name, last name, their age. And here we have the information for order ID, order number. Now how we can get to know that this order number was placed by which person? So for that, what we have done, the primary key of this table has been added here, and when the primary key of this table when is added here in this table, this is called the foreign key of this table. Understood?
Yes. Can you please repeat?
Sorry.
Person's table is primary key.
See, person ID is the primary key for person table,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
and when we are using this column here, what is the purpose? The purpose is just to connect the tables.
Mm-hmm.
So this
Okay.
table's primary key when used here to connect the tables is called the foreign key of order table. Understood?
Okay.
So this is
Yes.
how when we are breaking a big table into multiple tables, we need to connect them. And when we connect them, there comes 2 concepts, primary key and foreign key. You need to understand that. Otherwise, when you would be working practically, you will not be able to break that bigger table and create smaller tables and then connect them. Right? Now we can see that person ID 3. So now we can see that this order ID or order number was placed by this person because now these tables are connected. Right?
Right, ma'am.
Right? So are you guys clear what is a schema? A very, very broad definition, the way we need to keep the database. So schema is nothing but a data warehousing concept. And that concept is very, very important whenever we are using any data analysis tool. Right? So what is a fact table? What is a dimension table? There are some more concepts. So I would be covering some concepts for half an hour, then we would be starting with practical part. So a fact table is nothing but those columns of the table which has or which carries the numerical values. Right? So if we talk about this particular table, what are the facts we have? Only these 3 columns which carry the numerical values. Rest are all text values, right?
Yeah.
Right? So the table we would be creating using these columns will be called fact table, and that multiple tables we would be creating using these columns, those tables would be called dimension tables. Understood what is a fact table, what is a dimension table?
Yes.
Guys, there is a lot of noise behind somebody and it is creating a disturbance. Please mute yourself or change the room. A fact table consists of the measurements, metrics, or the facts of the business problem process. Like we have sales, profit, and quantity with us. A fact table consists of 2 types of column. The foreign keys, I will talk about this. Leave this point. What is a dimension table? Go through the definition once. Dimension tables contain dimension keys, values, or attributes. So these are nothing, but these are the attributes, these text values, right? So now we will study about star schema and then we will talk more about fact and dimension tables. Are you guys clear so far?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to open an image. In a star schema, what we do? We create a bigger table like this. How? A fact table and multiple dimension tables. So basically we are segregating the numerical values and non-numerical values like this. And we keep the fact table in the center and all the dimension tables around it. And why we call it a star schema? Because it is giving us the shape like a star. Can you see this image?
Yes.
Right? Now
Yes,
we
ma'am.
need to segregate the dimensions, right? So it totally depends upon you how many dimensions you can identify out of it. So I will say this is my dimension table number 1 where I'm talking about all the information related to orders. Then second, this is my second dimension table which is related to customers, right? This would be my fact table and this would be my product dimension table. Easily identifiable, guys,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Ma'am, one question. Like,
Yeah.
how to decide which data I need to put on fact?
See, basically, you can categorize your data like how I have categorized here, order, customer, product, or probably I can create one more. I can take this for customer and these four for location. I can do that as well, but that is totally my choice. How many dimension table I want to create,
Okay.
right? And facts, a separate table, rest dimension tables. Now, how will you do it? Basically, so you will copy these columns. I'm copying these, please pay attention, into a separate table. Now, we have duplicate values here, right? What will I do? I will remove duplicates from this. On the basis of which column? Order ID, right? If I'm removing the duplicates, it saved a lot of memory,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
I will tell you how it is not affecting the workflow. Now, I will take these customer table, I will paste separately, and on the basis of the customer ID, I will remove the duplicates. Because if I am removing a duplicate from the customer ID, I'm still having the complete list of customers because I'm not removing any other data, I'm just removing duplicates, right?
Uh, in
If
this,
I
if
if
sorry,
I
sorry.
take just a second, if I take this particular customer ID, it has all the same information for all the columns, right?
Do we need to ascertain that first before we remove the duplicates, or
Yes,
will that be unique
yes.
for?
Yes, because in this case also, yes, we need to ascertain that. Good question. Because in this case also, if you look at what this particular order ID, which is coming thrice, do you think that one order ID would be shipped in different parcels and we would be having different ship dates or ship modes? No, the entire order would be couriered on the same ship date through same ship mode, and the order date would be also the same, right? So if we are removing the duplicate, it is not making any difference, correct? We still have the complete information with us, right, guys? Yes or
Right.
no?
Yes. Yeah.
Correct, but
Everyone.
in, yeah, but in some of the cases, let's say there could be a manual mistake. Customer ID might be appearing against the two names. So Do we need to clean up the data in that scenario?
Yes, I will talk about that when we will go to Power Query.
Okay.
Okay. So as of now, whatever we have covered so far, all good with that. So guys, make sure that we as a team are on the same page always. Whoever is not able to understand anything, please stop me there itself. I do not want any gap. Okay. So
Okay,
in
ma'am.
this table also, when I'm talking about customers, if I remove duplicates on the basis of customer ID, will I lose any information? No. Right? Because any customer like this or customer ID is coming thrice. Do we have different information in any of the row? No. The customer segment, his country, city, state will always remain same. Will I change my address? No. So depending upon the customer, what I'm doing on the basis of customer ID, I'm removing the duplicates. Same, I will take this information product and on the basis of product ID, I will remove the duplicates. Because same product ID, which is coming multiple times, would be having same category, some category and product name. Right?
Yeah,
Yes
for
or no?
example, the customer given order on 4th and again he ordered on 8th, then the product
Then we
ID
have the
will not.
same order date and a different customer ID and different product ID. And product ID can be same. Let me
Yeah,
just complete this. You would be able to connect.
sure, sure.
Okay. So we have 3-dimension tables as of now. Right? Right, everyone?
Yes.
Now let's
Yes.
talk about the fact table. So
Yes.
I'm taking these 3 columns in a separate table here. Now it is making no sense. Why? Because we do not have anything else. Which order sale this is? Which customer sale this is? We do not know anything, right?
Right.
What will we do? The primary key of 3 rest of the dimension tables, we will include that. Understood? How?
Yeah.
Like I went to
Customer
order.
ID,
Yes. So what will I do? From the
order ID.
master data itself, the complete table, we will be taking order ID, this column, and I would be adding it to the here in fact table. Then second dimension table customer,
Customer
what
ID.
is the primary key? Customer table that I would be taking here. Then I'm going to this section. What is the primary key? Product ID.
Product
I'm
ID.
taking product ID and putting here. And now we cannot remove any duplicate from this table because these values are different for each and every row. We do not have any duplicate. Correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
So if I'm connecting this table with the rest of the 3-dimension tables, we are still having all the information. We have not lost anything and we have saved a lot of memory, right?
Yes.
Everyone clear with this,
Yes.
right? Now come to this PPT and discuss few features of a star schema, right? A star schema is a data warehouse where the center of the star can have one fact table with a number of associated dimension tables around the fact table, right? I've shown you the diagram. And
Yeah.
how to create that diagram, we will talk about it when we would be moving to the practical part. It is known as a star schema as its structure resembles a star. The simplest type of data warehouse schema. This is the very, very simple and the basic star schema, which is always preferred in Power BI because Power BI engine always supports star schema. Or we can say that Power BI engine works at its best when we are following star schema in data warehousing. It is optimized for querying large data sets. Why optimized? We are not wasting any memory. And whenever we would be querying anything from Power BI, it is going to answer it very, very quickly because we are not putting that much load on Power BI engine, right? In a star schema, a fact table contains key to every dimension table. Is it correct? Understandable?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
The dimension tables are not joined to each other. Remember, we are not connecting dimension tables with each other. We are connecting just fact table with other
Fact.
dimension tables, right? Easy
Yeah.
to understand and provides optimal disk usage. Of course, the schema is widely supported by BI tools. And if you learn this schema, trust me, you can use it anywhere. If you learn any other analysis tool after Power BI, it is going to help you there as well. The dimension tables are not normalized. Now, this is the important point. What is normalization? Okay, so now I will talk about normalization. If here, instead of star schema, I write snowflake schema. Can you see the diagram and the difference? So a snowflake schema is what? Snowflake schema is nothing but an extension to star schema. If you look at this portion, fact table, dimension table, dimension table, dimension table, this is a star schema, right? So in a snowflake
Yes.
schema, what is the extra thing? The extra thing is we have bifurcated the dimension tables further. Can you see?
Okay.
But connectivity remains same. Again, we are just connecting the fact table with dimension tables, and we are not connecting the dimension tables like that. So when we are bifurcating the dimension tables further, that will take the shape of a snowflake schema. But is it good for Power BI engine? If we do, like for example, in our case, in this table, this big table, customer table, which we have taken, this dimension table can be bifurcated further on the basis of the location. But we are not doing it because we are not following snowflake schema. We will follow star schema, right? Now we will talk about, so basically when we are bifurcating the dimension table further, that is called data normalization. This is the reason it says that in a star schema, the dimension tables are not normalized. It means they are not bifurcated further, correct? Right, guys?
Yes.
Right? Now, what is a
Yes, ma'am.
snowflake schema? Why I am covering this topic? Because when you go ahead in your career, be it any interview or anything, you might get this question that what is the difference between a snowflake and a star schema? So I'm covering this as well. So a snowflake schema is an extension of a star schema. It adds additional dimensions. The dimension tables are not normalized, are normalized, sorry. So in a snowflake schema, these are normalized. So basically are bifurcated further. One fact table surrounded by a dimension table, which are in turn surrounded by a dimension table. It uses a smaller disk space. Due to multiple tables, query performance is reduced. So it also has some loopholes. Can you see this? Right? Need to perform more maintenance efforts because the more lookup tables. Because the structure is very, very complex. A fact table, then dimension, then within the dimension, another dimension within the dimension. So the structure is complex. So more maintenance efforts you need. So this is the reason star schema is preferred in Power Query, Power BI, right? I will talk about cardinality later on. So now we will see how we can follow star schema using Power Query. Fair enough? Are you clear with the basics? Everyone?
Yes.
All of you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any example for snowflake
Yes,
schema?
ma'am.
Yes, yes. So this is the example which I have given. Like in a star schema, we are creating one dimension table, which is customers. So if you convert it into Snowflake, you will keep customer for these 3 columns, and these 4 columns, you can take another dimension table location. Right? But then what is the primary key
Right.
for this? Anyone who can answer this question?
Sorry.
Crystal clear. If we create another dimension table location taking these columns, what would be the primary key for this table?
Postcode. Postal
Right.
Some
code.
location.
Right. So we can do that if you want. But it is not suitable for Power BI engine. Right? Right,
But
guys?
if the
Yes.
data is large,
Yes.
then also it is not suggestible. I mean,
Yes, it is not suggestible at that time also because of the multiple tables, the query affects. Can you read this point once? Due to the multiple tables, query performance is reduced. So when you would be writing formulas in Power BI, it's going to return the result a bit late.
okay.
Yeah. So now, guys, I hope you all have Power BI installed with you. If you do not have, after this meeting, I would be sending a link to install. Okay. So once you will open Power BI, it is going to look like this. Right, guys?
Yeah, one question.
Yeah.
Like in the market, nobody are using Snowflake schema in
Yeah.
Power BI or
No one is using because Power
okay.
BI developer themselves are suggesting a star schema. If you will read on Power BI community as well, they are going to suggest you star schema. The engine has been built taking that warehousing concept in mind.
Thank you.
Yeah. So once you open Power BI, it's going to look like this, guys. Right? So what would be the first step? The first step would be to save this file on your local system anywhere. Right? Like this. Second, do you all have your accounts on the cloud in Power BI?
No.
Okay, so
No,
we'll
ma'am.
talk about it next Saturday when we would be starting with it. Okay, so this is Power BI, how to import data in this, right? So you have multiple options. Can you see this section fields?
Yes.
Here you have this option get data, option number 1. Option number 2, because you have your data in Excel, you can directly click on Excel here. It will also help you to import data, option number 2. Option number 3, you can open up this option get data. When you open up this option, you can see the number of sources Power BI supports. So these are the sources from where we can import data in Power BI, right? So now this list has gone, 100 plus sources are supported by Power BI. And now because I have my data in Excel, I will click on Excel and I will click on connect. And now I can give the path of the Excel sheet wherever it has been kept, right? So I would be importing the same data, that same table, master table I was showing to you, orders. It is going to give me the preview here, right? The same data, right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. And now I will click on load. Once the load has been completed, you will find your table here. And when you open up this table, you will find all the columns here. Can you see all the columns of the table?
Yeah, under fields.
Yes, all the columns or all the fields under fields, these, right? So order is a table and these are the columns of Excel sheet, correct?
Yes.
Right? They are coming in alphabetical orders. Okay, now you need to make changes to this data set. Like you want to bifurcate this bigger table into 4 tables as explained by following the star schema. What will you do? How will you do it? Now here comes Power Query into the picture. So this was the background I had to establish to connect you guys with Power Query, right? Now clear why we need Power Query?
Yes.
So whatever we have done in Excel here by copying this here, then removing the duplicates, this, that, we can do all that in Power BI using Power Query. So now how to go to Power Query? Here in the main screen, there is no option for Power Query. Can you see any option here? No.
No.
So what is the option? Right click on table and there is this option edit query. In Power BI, a table is called a query. This is the reason it is not saying edit table, it is saying edit query. So I will click on edit query and it will take me to a different environment altogether. Can you see this heavy ribbon? Very heavy
Yeah.
ribbon, right? Lot of options and this and that. So I would be covering these all options today and tomorrow's lecture. So this is nothing, but this is Power Query. And why this is called Power Query Editor? Because a table is called query. So basically it is empowering the table editing basically. Understood? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Now can you see
Yes.
the data like a table here, like Excel? Right? What all we
Yeah.
have here? So how many tables we imported? One. So we can see just one table here. If we will import multiple Excel sheets, you will get the list here, all the tables. Okay. So these are nothing but a list of queries. This is a common ribbon which we will use as we will proceed with the course. This is the name of the table we are opening, we have in front of us, and these applied steps are nothing but whatever changes we are going to make into this table, all would be recorded here. Why they would be recorded here? Because there is no Control Z in Power Query. If you remove something by mistake and then you are pressing Control Z, there is no Control Z. So what is the option? The option is you can press cross and that will be undo. Understood? How the undone is done?
Under applied steps.
Yes. So this is the section for Control Z in Power Query, right? Now the time is to apply star schema using Power Query. Okay, so we would be using Power Query. So Power Query is what? An ETL tool. We have extracted the data. We have imported from Excel, so that is extraction, right? Now we will transform as per the technology, whatever technology we want to apply. And then we will load where in Power BI. So it will be loaded here, the updated data, correct?
Yes.
So how to do it? What will I do? I will right click it and I will click on duplicate. Now I have two same tables, right?
Duplicate.
Right? In this is this second table, I will rename it with what name? Because this is my first dimension table. So I will write orders dim. It means this is the dimension table with the name orders, right? What all
Okay.
want I here? I want row ID, order date, ship date. That's it. And ship mode, right? What will I do? I will select these columns which I want to stay in this particular table, and I will look for options here. Do we have option remove columns? Right?
Yeah.
I will open this drop down and I'm saying remove other columns, as in keep the selected ones and remove other, right?
Okay.
I did that and I have
This is
my
first
first
dimension.
table, correct? And if I go to order, this table is as it is, right? So I have my first dimension table with me very easily. Now tell me, Excel was better or this is better?
This is better.
This is better, right? What else I need to do in this? I need to remove duplicates. So I will
Yeah.
move my primary key as first column, just drag and drop. I will select this column, right click, remove duplicates. Done? Done, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
I do not want
Yes.
order ID. I do not want remove. Can you see how the changes have been noted down here?
Record.
And
Yeah.
if I cross undo, it has come back. This is
Okay.
Power Query. Can you see the power of Power Query? So this is my first dimension table. I have removed the duplicates and it's fair enough. Okay, now create another duplicate table from the main table. Now I would be talking about customer. So I will rename it
One question
customer
I have.
dim. Yes,
Yeah, for the order dim, when you created that, you selected the specific columns and you said that remove other columns.
right.
Why it was not in the same sequence? I mean, it was like jumbled up. Why it was that?
Okay, let me do it again, then I explain. Now notice the same change here also. Okay. In customer, what will I do? I'm saying uh, delete these. First of all, I will delete one by one. Home, remove columns. I'm saying remove columns. So it will delete selected columns. Gone, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm saying state, postal code, and region. And I am saying
Remove.
uh, remove columns, remove other columns, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Can
We
can
can't select the first one and
I
after
can,
the customer ID at a time. So you're doing like this, right?
yeah, because see, it's your convenience. You can select
Okay.
these columns and then straight away do it in the same step like remove other columns.
Mhm.
So there is no good or bad practice for that. It's all about the work style, right? And earlier when they jumbled up, what happened? Can someone answer what happened? So basically it arranged them as per alphabetical order. Did you notice? Yeah. Now we have my second dimension table and I can remove the duplicates. Done. Now make a third copy.
No, but why this was not being sorted out like
It
in
was
the
already in alphabetical order. You can check.
uh,
Yes. Product and dim. So this
no,
is
we
my,
have, sorry, go ahead.
yes.
In the customer dim, can you see if these are,
Okay.
see, we have segment which is like starting from S, then country, then city.
Yes.
So it is not alphabetically sorted out, right?
Yes. So basically it is nothing but behaving randomly. Did you notice the same thing did not happen in this also? Okay, let it check. Let me check this in product table once. So
Okay.
what all we want here, I will just select the product related information, product category, subcategory, product name. That's it. And I will say remove other columns. Now what happened? It has not changed anything. No, it has moved the product name in the last. So it's all random. There is no specific guideline for this. Right now, I would be removing the duplicates. And I have my third and final dimension table. Now I'm not going to make any copy. I will keep this and I will rename this what?
Most
Fact table. And what are the facts I need here? I want
sales revenue.
I just want order ID, right? I want customer ID.
Customer ID. Product ID.
And then I can select these also to remove. So I have product ID, all the three primary keys, and then and then we have the dimensions. In this table, we have quantity also. If you want, we can delete, right? So now this is my fact table and I'm not supposed to remove any duplicates, right?
Yeah.
And if I go above top left and I say close and apply, now this section will be updated. So this is called load. Did you notice the pop-up saying load? Right? So this is ETL. This is the process. Now, can you see the 4 tables, 3 dimensions and 1 fact table? Right, everyone?
Yes.
Right?
Still
Yeah.
Now, this section, can you see these 3 symbols on the left-hand side, 1, 2, and 3?
I don't know whether it is slow from my side. I can only, it's very latency. There is a latency in your clicks and everything.
Yeah, there are three icons.
What is
Yeah, for
happening?
me also.
What is happening? Come again.
We can see only build visuals with your data.
There is a lag, time lag between your clicks and your voice.
Is it for everyone?
For me also.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
No,
yes,
ma'am.
for me also.
Okay, so I
I'm
will
good
go
with it.
Okay, so probably some network issues and all. No ways.
Yeah.
No worries. I will take care of it for everyone. So can you guys see these 4 tables here on the right side?
Under fields, yes.
Yes, everyone.
Yes.
Yes,
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 ma'am.
On the left hand side,
Yes.
we have 3 sections. If you are keeping the cursor, the first section is report. It is showing the label report.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yes.
this is a section where we can keep the report, right? Report as in we would be doing the analysis here. The second section is data. When you click on this, you would be able to see each and every table like Excel in form of a table. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Right? Now this third section is where we can create the diagram, which I showed you on Google. Can you see all the 4 tables here? So I would be keeping fact table in the center and dimension tables around. Where is my another, this one, like this, so that it looks like a star, right? Right, guys? So basically now I need to connect 3 dimension tables with fact table. How to do it? So if I want to connect this particular table orders with fact table, what is the column on the basis of which I need to connect it? Order
based
ID?
on
Order ID, right?
yeah, order ID.
So I will pick this order ID and drop on this order ID. What it is asking? It is telling me that it has many to many relationship. What is many to many relationship? First of all, now I will talk about cardinality, right? Now come back to this particular
Order.
slide.
Sorry, where did you drag the order ID?
To another order ID of the same another table, like this order ID
Okay.
on this order ID.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now talk about cardinality, then we will go back. What is cardinality? So when we were talking about these tables in Excel here, and I created this particular table where I removed the duplicates. Now tell me, one order ID is coming how many times? Only one time?
Yes. Order
Right?
ID
So
should be
basically,
there.
what is the frequency of each and every value? Just one? Just one frequency for each and every value because we have removed the duplicates?
No, from the fact table we have not.
I'm sorry, I'm talking about the dimension table. So if I talk about all the dimension tables, we have only single value
Yeah.
for each and every value,
Yes, we have unique
right?
values.
So
Yeah.
the cardinality for order ID would be 1, right? If I talk about fact table where we have not removed the duplicates, for the cardinality here for order ID would be many, because we have multiple values for one value. Frequency I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
So this is called cardinality. Read the definition again. Refers to the uniqueness of data values contained in a particular column of a database table. If that is unique, the cardinality would be 1. If that is not unique, the cardinality would be many. So what type of relationship we can have? So now when I am dragging this order ID on this order ID, it is telling me that it carries many to many relationship. How it is possible? Because in the orders table, we have removed the duplicates. We cannot have many cardinality for this. It means there is some problem with the tables, right?
Yes.
So we'll go back to this section and we will check each and every table. Can you see a blank rows has been added automatically somewhere in the middle in the table? Can you see this? Right? So what
No.
is happening?
Sorry.
See,
Sorry.
go to
There is a
data.
time.
Where?
See, if
There is a
I'm
time lag. We cannot see blank rows.
okay, if I go down, or probably if I am, sorting it, you will notice data blank row, right, left, like that. Can you see that?
Yeah, there are few blanks.
Yes. So this is the reason. What has happened? It is reading those blank values multiple times and it is picking up many cardinality for those blank values. So what we have to do? We will go back to Power Query again and we will delete, remove what? If you see this option, remove rows, and open the drop down, we have the option remove blank rows, right?
Okay.
Right? Can anyone see this?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So I will do
Yeah.
remove rows for all the 4 tables. Blank rows.
Okay.
So that there is no blank value.
Yeah. For the order ID, when you selected only one column and you try to delete the remove blank rows, would it only remove the blank which is appearing in one column,
No,
or
it will remove the blank where the row is totally blank for all the columns.
okay, where we have missing order ID and there are some information available in other columns, it won't be.
That is the first step before coming to Power. I will cover that. Give me some time, please.
Okay.
Right? Okay, I will do close and apply, and the tables would be updated. Now come here in the relationship section and drag order ID and put on order ID. Now it will not give me that error many to many because we have removed the errors. Now it is picking up one as in the unique values in this order ID column and multiple values in this order ID column, which is fair enough, right?
Okay.
Everyone clear with this concept?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Same, we would be creating the relationship between these two and these two as well. So customer ID is the primary key for customer table. So I will create the relationship on the basis of customer ID. Again, we have one-to-many relationship, and same product ID to product ID, one-to-many. So this is star schema. And when we need to apply this concept using Power Query, these are the steps. So this is the reason I have taken this example practically and tried to explain you schema as well, right? And some practical part. Now we will talk about more practical part, right?
Yeah. One question from my side.
Yeah.
By that data creating blank values, is it happen every time or?
See, no, not every time. Sometimes it happens. What it does when we are connecting Power BI with Excel, it does not know till which row it needs to stop. Understood?
Okay.
So it picks up the complete data, but along with that, some blank rows might come. So we really need to be careful about that.
Okay. If you are using from any other source, Azure
Yes.
or something,
Right.
then it would be happen.
It can happen. See, I'm not aware of Azure, but if you know Azure, so probably if you think that in Azure we have blank rows under the main data, it can happen there as well. Like in Excel, under the main data, we always have blank rows.
Okay.
So if that happens in Azure as well, it can happen there as well. So be careful that when we have removed the duplicates from this column, why it is picking up many cardinality, right? So if it is picking up many cardinality here, you need to stop here itself because you know your data, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I am covering Power Query in first 2 sessions only for those people who have only enrolled for Power Query, right? So guys, are you clear how we can make the changes, how we can make one bigger table into multiple tables? What is ETL, where all we can use Power Query? So we will talk about Power Query only now for today's class and tomorrow's class. Are you guys clear with it? Everyone?
Yes,
Okay. So now
Yes.
talk
Yeah.
more about the Power Query features. So I will go to Power Query here, editor. Now, these are the tables. Now you can see that we can create duplicate tables as well. We can use some basic options are here. So, okay. So how many options we have here? So in the file, we have options like these. If you click on close and apply, what it will do? It will make the changes and close the environment. If you are saying apply, it will just apply the changes. If you are saying close, it will close this particular environment without making the changes. Very, very simple options, right? You guys know how to undo. You guys know how to duplicate your table, correct? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we do not have option of redo, right? Like Excel.
We do not have option
If
to.
you unexpectedly click undo, if you want to go to that step, we cannot.
If you want to go to where? I did not get your point.
For example, we remove a column. Again, we
Mhm.
need that. Then we do not have the shortcut. We should do manually, right?
Yes. So you have to use this particular section. We do not have controls at here. That's what you are asking, right?
No, no, not control Z. I need previous step. For example, I need previous data.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you're talking about the previous versions basically.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
he's saying if you delete any steps by error, can you go back and
Yeah.
do the
Correct
step?
that.
I
Yes,
mean, we
got
have to
it.
manually redo the step. There is no option of bringing back the steps automatically.
See, if you do not want to promote the headers, or you can delete any in between step as well. If you are, for example, I am duplicating this table, customer one, this one. If I'm saying I'm undoing this particular step after so many steps, in between step,
Mm.
so it will undo for that as well. So it's not necessarily that you are undoing in steps. Understood?
Yeah.
In between step can also be deleted.
Can we get back those steps?
Yeah,
Is
we
what
can't
he's
retain
asking.
that, right?
Yes, 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 we cannot. Right? What other options we have, guys? In the view, we will talk about home, transform, and add column. Before that, talk about view. What is view? So basically, what all we have on this environment, like formula bar is ticked, so we can see the formula. If you are unticking it, the formula bar will go. Like we have option in Excel as well, right? Then we have column distribution. If you click on that, it will tell you the column distribution like this, like how many distinct values we have in this column, how many unique values, and all that, right? Then we have column profile, where it will talk about the column profile of the selected column. Like as of now, it is giving me the information for customer ID. What is the count, how many errors, how many empty cells, distinct count, empty string, minimum value, maximum value, and like this. If you change the selection of the column, it will change the column profile for that particular column, right? They by default, they are coming unticked. Whenever you want to see this information, you can tick and see. Like we have column quality. Can you see? It is showing you the quality of your data, right? If you are clicking on monospaced, can you see the kind of font we are getting here? So this is monospaced, right? If you have like 20-25 columns in your Excel sheet or this data, and you want to go to sales column, what will you do? You'll just drag till last and you will try to find out where is my sales, right?
Yeah.
But here we have an option, go to column. When you click on this, it will give you the list of all the columns of the table. Whichever column you select and say, okay, it will take you to that particular column, right? And tell me, what is the language using which Power Query has been created. So we use mQuery. Have you guys heard about it? So mQuery is nothing but mashup query. The full form is mashup query. So if you click on advanced editor, you would be able to see some code. So basically this is mQuery or M language. In this language, all the steps are saved at the back end. So this is nothing but the code behind the front end. Understood, guys? You're not supposed to actually learn it or study it, but yes, the basic, very, very basic understanding how to read and a broad understanding is important. Like what it is, what it says. It says source, as in from where I have taken this particular table. So it is giving me the path of my, can you see my laptop folder where I have taken this sheet? So broadly, you can understand it, but you're not supposed to learn it and write any code. You're not supposed to write any code because the front end is so good that you do not need to go into this coding section. Then it is showing me some steps in this language, promoted headers. So this is the code which has been written, like promote all scalars, true, and all that. So this is advanced editor, which is giving you the coding happening behind. What is query dependency, guys? If you click on this, it will show you all your tables. Like I just have these tables. And then from where in your laptop these tables have been loaded. So it is giving me the path of C drive. So probably if you are importing 5-6 tables from 5-6 different locations, it is going to show you all the 5-6 different locations. So basically it tells you where these data have been kept in your laptop. Understood?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Like open file location,
yes.
something like.
Yes, so basically this is query dependency. So view settings is nothing but what all you can bring on your screen, what all you can turn off to keep it clean. Like we have view option in Excel. And what is query settings? If you close this section and you want to come bring it back, you can click on query settings, your query settings section will come. Right? This is not required, tools and help. So we will thoroughly talk about home, transform, and add column. Correct, everyone? Right? So what is enter data?
Right.
Now, for example, you want to create a small table here itself. You do not want to create it in an Excel sheet and then import. You want that, you want to create it here itself. So you click on enter data. What will you do? Can
Column
somebody
one
guide me?
header.
It says create table. Here you can mention the name of the table. And here I'm saying number. Then I'm saying 1, 2, and 3 for a small data set. Of course, I cannot, manually type everything. And I'm saying, okay, what will happen? I have the table here. If I go to data section, I can see these are the values, the name of the table. So enter data section is the section from where you can create smaller data sets inside Power Query itself. Okay. Data source settings. For example, this particular Excel sheet from where you have imported the data set, you changed the path of that Excel sheet. Earlier, it was on your desktop. Now you moved it into the C drive. What will happen? When you will refresh this particular Power Query environment, it will say could not locate the data, right? It will say because you have changed the location,
Yeah, it
correct?
would fail.
Yes.
Yes.
So how you need to change the location here? Now you will click on data source settings and here it is giving you the paths. You can click on change source and you will give the new path of your sheet and OK and close. And then now you will refresh this. It will be refreshed properly. It would be able to locate that Excel sheet. So what is the benefit of keeping it connected to the Excel sheet? What is the benefit? So whenever you would be making changes to your Excel sheet to which this Power Query is connected, those particular data will reflect here also. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
Can you please
Understood?
repeat it?
Yeah.
I'm saying, what is this particular table? If I am going to my Excel sheet from where I have imported the data, if I'm making or adding any new data below this data at the end and saving the sheet, And coming here in Power Query and refreshing, these tables will update automatically with that new data set. Now there is one assignment for home. Can everyone note it down, please?
Yes.
Yeah. The assignment is we imported this one bigger table, right? Not subtables, right? And then we made the changes or created the fact and dimension tables in Power Query. Right, guys? Yes or no? So
Yeah,
when
yes.
I
Yes,
would
ma'am.
be adding the data at the end of this bigger table, will that also be bifurcated like this into separate tables? Like all the steps would be applied to that data as well? Like removing duplicates, creating that dimension table, this column, that column, whatever we have done.
Yes.
Understand the question?
Can you please repeat?
I'm saying I connected this Power BI with the main table, a bigger table, right? And in Power Query, I created separate tables like 3-dimension tables, one fact table, then I established the relationship, remove the duplicates, this and that, a lot of steps, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I am adding records here, for example, 2018 data, I am adding here and saving the sheet, Excel sheet, coming here in Power BI, refreshing it here. So will the same steps be applied on the new data and new data will be settled down in each and every table?
Yes. Yes, it would.
Yes.
Yes,
It
will
will
Yeah.
be.
be.
Yeah.
So basically this is the power of Power Query, guys. So once, for example, your client is giving you 2 years data and saying design a report, you did all these steps and everything. Now your client is not going to send you the new data in updated format like this, right? Because this is what you have done to the data. Your client is sending you the data in this format every time, right?
Yeah.
So you would be adding the same as it is data and you're not supposed to repeat these steps. As soon as you are updating your Excel sheet, saving it and refreshing the Power BI, everything will be done automatically. This is the reason why Power Query is so successful in the market. It is just saving a lot of work for you. All the manual steps have been removed. Can you do this in Excel?
No, we can't.
No, but with Power
Should be
Query, you can
manual.
do this in Excel also.
Okay.
Just I will take 2-3 more minutes, guys. I hope everyone is fine with that, right? So try this, all this, whatever we have done in the class today. Then tomorrow we will continue with Power BI, Power Query ribbon. Before that, I wanted to show you something. Should I proceed, guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. So now see,
Sure.
if I am opening up this data set, let me just make a copy very quickly. I'm opening the same orders table here in Excel, this particular table. I am selecting this entire table like this, right? Then can you see this data tab? And in this, we have this section, get and transform data, queries and connection, right?
Yes.
These sections, queries and connections, get and transform data, were added in 2016 version of Excel, right? You selected the entire range and now you are clicking on from table and range. This option, guys, pay attention, from table and range. When I'm clicking on this, what is happening? It is loading the same table in Power Query Editor in Excel also. Can you see the same environment, save ribbon and everything same? Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Now what I would be doing, for example, I'm removing this row ID column and I'm clicking on close and load. There are two options, close and load to. Where to load? It is asking you where to load. I'm clicking on this. It is giving me multiple options. What is the meaning? If I'm clicking on table, what will happen? Let me execute this. What happened? This is my input table.
Yep.
From here, I went to Power Query section by clicking on this particular option, table and range. Now this is the output of Power Query Editor. Can you see row ID column? No, it has been deleted. So whatever changes I would be making in Power Query Editor in Excel, it will make those changes and create a new table. So this is my output table. This is my input table, right?
Hmm.
And now this is the data which has been updated using Power Query in Excel. Now I'm going back to that particular sheet. And for example, I'm removing the order date, right? I'm saving this sheet. Order date, guys, pay attention. Now I'm coming to output sheet. We still have the order date. Let's refresh this. What happened? The column order date of the table was not found. It means in the input table, it has been deleted, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now one more thing, then I will free all of you. Now come to this section here, and in the last, in the customer name, I'm adding my name, right? So basically I have done what? I have updated the input data. I'm coming to the output table, refresh. What is happening? Did I get Bharti Goel? No.
No.
Why? But we should get it. Why we are not getting it? Because it is not able to locate the complete number of columns. Understood? If we have not deleted order date, it will reflect Bharti Goel here. Can you practice this in Excel as well at home today? All of you. Do not delete any column, change the base data, and then come to the output table and refresh. You would be able to see these changes here also. So in Excel also, we have the same logic. If you have corrected your data once, you do not need to apply all those steps again. You just keep adding the base data. All the steps will be applied automatically to the new data as well, be it Power BI, be it Excel.
Okay.
Okay, everyone?
Like for example, we are deleting
For
except
example,
customer ID under customer
take
details.
this short data, right? How many entries we have? 8. I'm selecting this, going to data, from range, I'm going to Power Query Editor. I'm not making any changes here. I'm simply coming back on the screen. Now this same table has been converted into the output table. Another learning. You are simply clicking on close and load. It means you want to update the same data. There is no input and output table like earlier. Why output table came separately? Why?
That is master.
Yes. Now do one thing. Enter one order ID here. CA 021 space 1 2 3 4 5 6, and here no. Right? You are going to this table, refresh. It came here.
No.
It has come here, right? So whenever you would be updating the base data, so basically you can see what is happening in Power BI. So here it is very, very clear. Whenever you would be updating your input table, whatever steps you have applied in Power Query Editor will be applied in the output table automatically. So every time you are uploading new data for another quarter, another month, another week, whatever, you are free. You have done your work earlier. Understood, everyone? Clear?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a bit, different or new for the people who are really not aware of these things. So good to go for it. Practice this much, and then we will proceed in next class tomorrow. Okay, everyone?
Bharti, if I can ask one question last.
Yeah.
When you remove that duplicate, when you remove that blank row, will it only remove that blank value which is appearing? Like, will it only read the selected column where there is a
No,
blank?
it will select remove blank. See, if you will not, it will remove the completely blank row.
Can you?
I will cover
Yeah.
this. Don't worry. I will cover this tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Please practice and then come to the class tomorrow.
Okay, you will
Sure.
send this
Bye.
data or we need to create our own.
I will send you everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Yeah.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.